Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to break down one of the most fundamental building blocks of the modern web, the MongoDB document. So, let's jump right in. All right, let's kick things off with a really big question. Think about any modern app you use. It's not just neat rows and columns, right? You've got user profiles with all sorts of different details, product catalogs where every item has unique specs, maybe even streams of data from IoT devices. So how in the world do you store all that messy, real-world data in a way that actually works? Well, the answer really comes down to thinking about data in a whole new way. And to do that, we first need to get our heads around the concept of a document. So, what is a document? At its most basic level, it's the fundamental unit of data in MongoDB. You can think of it like a single file in a filing cabinet. It's one self-contained record that holds all the information about one specific thing, all neatly organized into what we call field value pairs. Okay, this right here, this is the most important mental shift you've got to make. If you're coming from a traditional database background, you're used to thinking in rigid rows and columns. I want you to just push that aside for a minute. In the world of MongoDB, we're going to start thinking in flexible, self-contained documents. Now, these documents aren't just plain text. They use a special format called BSON, which stands for Binary JSON. And here's a cool way to think about it. If JSON is like a recipe written out as text, BSON is like one of those meal prep kits. It's got all the same ingredients, but they're prepped and packed in a way that's way faster for the computer to use. Plus, BSON can handle a wider variety of ingredients, or, data types. Okay, so that's the theory, but what does one of these documents actually look like? Let's take one apart, piece by piece, and see what's inside. All right, here we go. This is a perfect example. What you're seeing is a single document that holds the entire user profile for someone named Arun. All his key information, all in one place. Nice and tidy. So let's break this down. First up, you see that underscore ID? That's its unique fingerprint. Every single document has one. Then you've got your straightforward field value pairs, like name and age. But look closer. See the skills field? That's an array, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a list. And check this out. The address field isn't just a piece of text. It's a whole other document tucked right inside the main one. Pretty cool, right? It's this structure, the fields, the arrays, the nesting, that gives documents some serious superpowers. And these are the things that make them absolutely perfect for modern apps. So let's dive into what makes them so dang powerful. Superpower number one, and this is probably the most famous one, is its flexible schema. What does that mean? It means not every document in the same group or collection has to look exactly the same. Take this, for example. We've got a document for a user named Ravi. It has two fields, name and age. Pretty standard stuff. But now, check out this second document. This one's for a user named Meena. It also has a name, but instead of an age, it has an email. And here's the magic. In MongoDB, these two totally different looking documents can live happily together in the same collection. This is a total game changer. It means your app can change and grow over time, and you don't have to tear down and rebuild your entire database just to add a new piece of info. And how does it keep all this organized? Well, remember that underscore ID field? Every single document has one, and it's mandatory. It's the primary key. If you forget to add one yourself, no worries, MongoDB just generates one for you. This guarantees that no two documents can ever be mistaken for each other. All right, on to superpower number two, embedding. This is the ability to nest documents right inside of other documents. And believe me, this is an incredibly efficient way to handle related pieces of data. So here's what that looks like. Instead of having a separate address table somewhere else that we'd have to link to, we just embed the entire address object directly inside Arun's user document. Everything that belongs together stays together. This is huge because it means we can avoid doing complex and slow database joins. And that brings us to superpower number three, arrays. Documents have built-in native support for arrays, which means you can easily store a whole list of things inside just one field. Look at this. All of Arun's skills are just right there in a clean, simple list under the skills field. If we were using a traditional database, this would probably mean creating a whole separate skills table and linking it all up. But here, nope, it's just part of the user document. So much simpler. Okay, so we've seen what documents can do. Now, let's put a document and a traditional row side by side for a little showdown. This should make the differences crystal clear. This table really lays it all out. The biggest difference, the main takeaway, is that shift from a fixed, rigid structure to a super flexible one. And because documents can hold all that nested data in those arrays, you can grab everything you need about a user or a product or whatever in one single trip to the database. That means you get to say goodbye to a lot of those complicated and often slow joins you're used to. So, what does this all boil down to? Why does this whole document model actually matter? I mean, why should you, as a developer or someone interested in tech, even care? Well, the real power here is that documents mirror the way developers already think and work in code. The objects you create in your application map almost one-to-one with the documents in the database. This just makes everything faster and more intuitive. And since all the data for, say, a user profile is in one single place, getting that data is a single lightning-fast operation. That's exactly why this model is a perfect fit for today's web apps, AI, and IoT. And you know what? Actually working with these documents is incredibly straightforward. The basic operations, which you might know as CRUD, that's create, read, update, and delete, are just so simple and logical. You insert one to create a document, find to read it, update one to change it, and delete one to get rid of it. Easy. So to wrap it all up in a neat little package, this single sentence really captures the essence of it all. It's about being flexible and efficient with the kind of complex data that powers our world today. So there you have it. You've now mastered the what of documents, the absolute bedrock of MongoDB. And having this understanding is your key to building faster, more flexible, and more powerful applications. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with it?